Took a couple of cement pills and harder. I haven't been on this track here before, but I don't think too many people have because there's a lot of cobwebs I'm going through. Well guys, it's been a bit of a mixed week. The past 7 days, everything running wise had been sort of just cruising along and nice and comfortably, but this week there's a few speed humps along the way. Had a rest day to start the week and a massage. Fortunately for me, my wife Trish, you've probably seen her on the Running Duck Effect channel from time to time, especially in the earlier days. She's a massage therapist, so she offered to massage the legs because the legs were feeling a little bit heavy and a little bit tired. Still continuing with the speed sessions. As we work through this month, some more higher intensity stuff to complement the MAF running. Saturday I had planned to do some deep quarters, a session that was devised by Pat Clohesi for Australia's #1 marathoner of all time in Robert De Castella, and this was a session that he used to do all the time, 8x400s with a 200 metre fairly quick float, but things didn't work out for me. Ended up doing an interval type session on the road. Not ideal, didn't really want to put the body through that sort of a session on the road, but we got through it. This is how it went down. All right, Deke's quarters will have to wait for another day, just because I couldn't get on the track, so I had to improvise, do some intervals on the road, and then with my eyesight still a bit dark, I couldn't see the watch properly, so I wasn't able to work out where the 400s were, so basically did 8 reps of about 80 seconds each with about I don't know, maybe a 150 jog recovery between each one. Better than nothing, but you know, I should have probably checked and see if the track was open yesterday, but didn't. Not to worry, that's a bit of speed. Some is better than none. Yeah, so Sunday's long run, the plan was to go out and just chug along for 45k, but wow, I was very close to pulling the pin inside the first 10k really. How I'd actually worked the run was that I used home as a base. We ran out 4.5 kilometres, 5 kilometres from home and then back, and ended up pretty much like a tentacle, as you can see on the Strava. Anyway, I got through that first 10, met up with a running buddy I hadn't seen for quite a while, who was just walking, and stopped to walk with him for a little while, had a chat for about 1 kilometre or so, and then I branched off to keep going on my run, and this is how it all sort of ended up. Just finished a 40k long run. I was going to take the camera with me and do a bit of filming, but honestly, body didn't want to play at all this morning, but took a couple of cement pills and harder and just dug in and got it done. So, but I'm feeling it. The body's pretty tired. I don't know why. Might have had a couple of wines last night. I might have had something to do with it, but wow, just wanted to be anywhere else except out pounding road this morning, so I'll put my Strava up there so you can have a look, see what it was. It's in the bank, but it was tough. Yeah, I didn't mention there before too about Sunday's long run. I really thought, because I didn't feel great, and I thought that I was probably a bit out of focus on this, and the fact that I thought I might have been working a lot harder than I thought. The surprising thing was that my heart rate was really low, probably 90% of that run. It was only in the last 4 or 5 kilometres where I just got to the stage where I just wanted it done. I picked up the pace just a little bit and the heart rate went up above my MAF level of 132. But before that, even with a little bit of elevation, the heart rate was 130s and less at that pace of around 5-minute kilometres. I'll put the mile conversion up there somewhere, and so you can get a bit of an idea. But that was something that it has baffled me. Like, to me, I was working harder than what my MAF level heart rate should have been, but the data said otherwise. And while pleased that was the case, just a little bit baffled why it was the case. Maybe it does show that the fitness from the MAF is pretty good, and maybe the speed work that I've been doing as well is helping towards that. But I don't want to have too many 40-kilometre training runs and feeling that way. Hopefully speed and the MAF will come together in a happy union, let's say, and the body will feel okay on those long runs going forward. But Monday recovery, normal day, back on the grass. Did a little video last week. I'll put a link to it up here in the right-hand corner. Is it going to be the right hand? No, this is the right hand corner, isn't it? Up in the right hand corner there. Basically, it was sort of what I mainly do on a Monday, getting on the grass after a long run, just a nice recovery. So Tuesday, the plan was to do a speed session called the fartlek, another session devised by another great Australian marathoner in Steve Monaghetti. A session that I had done before several times, but hadn't done it by myself. And this is how it went down. The session today is a 10-minute tempo, around about marathon pace, followed by 800-metre jog and the fartlek. This is a session that was devised by one of Australia's great marathon runners, Steve Monaghetti, and his coach Chris Wardlaw. It's a session that a lot of runners use, and while I've done it in a group situation before, this will be the first time I've done it by myself. And it's dark, and I don't know how it'll go seeing the watch, but we'll give it a go. Okay, it's a 10-minute tempo done. Just about ready to head into the fartlek. It's about 20 minutes. I'll put the session in the description down below. It's probably easier than trying to explain it. Doing all this morning on grass. Whew. Might only be 20 minutes that session, but whew, makes you work. Those 15-second ones at the end, with only 15-second recovery. Oh, you just sort of slowing down off the effort, and you got to go again. Like, that's a tough little set, and no wonder Mona's used it to such great effect when he was at the peak of his powers. Not sure on the distance till we download and see how far we've gone, but it's a good sort of starting spot to see if we can go further the next time we do it. So I backed up on Tuesday afternoon for a steady recovery run, and that's been pretty much the week. So training logs down below in the descriptions. Still maintaining that consistent 100k plus mileage weeks. I think the trouble with the Sunday run was not only probably the wine on the Saturday night, but also the fact that it was probably the first week of the higher intensity speed sessions, and I think the body just got to a stage where it said, okay, I just need to adapt to this. I'm going through that bit of a phase now where the body's getting used to doing more faster workouts. Hopefully the body will adjust to that in the next week or so. Still feel okay, still feel like I'm running okay. Not hitting the times that I was hitting probably 3 or 4 years ago when I did run those 2 sub-3-hour marathons. Another thing too, when I was doing the description for the thank you video last week, and I was scrolling down, and there was a bit of a typo there, but surprising that no one had actually picked up. But I had one of my marathon times down as 2:26, and had a bit of a laugh to myself about that. Like 2:26, yeah, in my dreams. And so I quickly fixed that up. I put it up there so you can actually see what it was. But that was definitely an honest mistake. I don't know how I hit the 2 instead of a 5 because they're nowhere near each other on the keyboard, but I've rectified that now. So definitely 256, guys. This old body, it ain't going 226 anytime soon, that's for sure, for 42.2. As I said, speed sessions are not hitting the paces that I was hitting in those years. Don't expect to. I'm happy to be just going along at the level I'm going at the moment. You know, as I've said in the past, I really struggled to build speeds. This is what this month's all about, trying to just get the legs working a little bit quicker. I've got another couple of weeks of speed and then into that math test, and we'll see what the improvement has been from the April to May tests. That's me crossing the line in Boylston Street in Boston. Can't believe this week it's been 6 years since I was in Boston. Still rates as the most memorable run that I've ever done. Crowds that day were just incredible. Probably wasn't one of my better days in terms of the race. It's just hard to describe the atmosphere of that year, where crowds just line the road all the way from the start to the finish, and coming down Boylston Street where the noise was deafening. To think that it's not happening because of what's been happening in the world with the coronavirus pandemic. I'm sure there's still a lot of people who had planned to be in Boston this week. My thoughts are with them, and hopefully that they're all safe and healthy, and looking forward to, I think it's September when the marathon's been rescheduled. Even though it's been 6 years, there's still a few things that I haven't done that I probably should have done. I'll show you. Got this after running Boston, still in its plastic, haven't put the photo in. It's just been sitting over there behind me, and look at it every day. And probably one of the reasons I never got around to putting a picture in that frame and hanging it on the wall was because my wife Trish and the 2 boys, Dakota and Banjo, I think it was for my birthday or might have even been Father's Day, they put together this to commemorate the Boston Marathon. I went through halfway in 1957. Fair old fade in the back. Also been this week, the marathon was supposed to be on Monday, Patriots Day. There were some running friends here in Brisbane that got together early on Monday morning and did a little bit of Strava art, which I'll show you there. I'm sure anyone who's familiar with Boston will recognise what that is. So hopefully everyone's doing good, doing fine, staying fit, staying healthy, and doing the right things. As I said, the channel's passed through that little milestone, so thanks very much. And also to everyone who takes the time to comment as well. I really do appreciate your comments, and I do try to make sure that I respond to everyone because you've taken the time to watch my video and then make a comment, so I'm more than happy to engage in a conversation. If you are a new watcher to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the videos that I'm making, make sure you hit that thumbs up so that I can see that you are actually liking the videos, and smash that notification bell as well so that you don't miss a video when they do lob. So that's about it for this week, guys. Have a good week. Hopefully you can get out for a run, and I'll catch you in next week's vlog. Hooroo.